everyone. I am the educator for the subject Fundamentals of Investment. I would like to discuss on the topic investor protection. So this is the topic covered in Unit 5. First, I would like to tell who are an investor. A person who invests in any type of fund, securities, real estate, or any kind of commodities are known as investor. He or she can be a person or a company or an individual or a company who can invest in long-term investment or else short-term investment. Short-term investment are the funds which will give benefit in a short period of time, which is highly liquid, and long-term investment are the funds which will fetch investment and give profit in a long run. So now discussing the provisions of investor protection. Investor protection, the name clearly discloses the protection or the right of an investor if they are being deceived or put to loss by any of the companies. This is a regulatory body regulated by SEBI 1992. SEBI is Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992. This is constituted mainly for the purpose of investor protection welfare. The objective of the SEBI of investor protection is to protect the interests of investors in securities, to promote the development and to regulate the securities market. So in security market, it is improvement of market efficiency, integrity and transparency. Trading infrastructure was modernized in most of the traditional stock exchanges. Clearing settlement system were improved and depositories were established. So SEBI launched prosecution against companies apart from serving show cause notices, inspections and investigations. What are the measures to ensure investor protection? So this comprises of stockbrokers are required to display rights and obligation of investor. Mutual fund business has been open to private sector also. Depository participants are required to get their internal audit done. Companies are required to undergo secretarial audit. PAN has been a mandatory requirement in all the capital market transaction nowadays. So then comes investor grievance and redressal system. So if a investor is being deceived by any of his or her right, what are the grievances and redressal process? We will discuss on that topic. According to law of sale of goods, there comes in principle of caveat emptor, where the buying of any of the thing, the buyer must protect his own interest, and in case if he fails to do so, he cannot complain later for any loss caused due to his failure or negligence. But it is not same in the securities market how an investor is treated. Here any of the transaction which are being carried due after being clearly providing all the information. Also, if any investor is getting deceived by his or her right, later he can put their grievances for getting redressal for the same in the securities market. So what are the grievances an investor in India commonly gets in any public issue of any of the securities? The interest or delayed payment, allotment advice, share certificates, the revalidation process, enlisted debentures, the non-receipt of any interest due, redemption proceeds, grievance related to shares or debentures in unlisted companies, grievance relating to deposits in collective investment schemes like unit of mutual fund, fixed deposit in bank, finance companies, manufacturing companies. So these are the grievances generally an investor can seek for redressing his or her rights. For redressing what he or she can get, the complaint can be lodged with Registrar of Companies, Ministry of Company Affairs, Stock Exchange or SEBI as the case may be, and in certain cases They are being pursued with the company law board also to obtain remedies and relief. Um, to get investor being protected by his right, he or she has to get an awareness, and for that the investor education is being a part of the curriculum according to SEBI's new efforts for the investor. So in investor protection is a part of investor education. Investor education forms an important part where the information brochures, pamphlets have been issued in the past for the benefit of the investor. These publications indicate the various risks associated with the capital market investment, right of the investor, the responsibilities, the details of the grievance redressal machinery available to them in respect of various grievances and remedy relief to be obtained from different agencies like SEBI, Ministry of Company Affairs, Stock Exchanges, Reserve Bank of India, Registrar to the issue, apart from seeking relief through Consumer Dispute Redressal Forum, Company Law Board or Court of Law. The basic point on investing in corporate securities: one should be well informed by promoters' track record, the professional management who is managing the fund of that investor, objective of the issue, the project details, the market benefit, projected profit ratios, past risk factor, pending litigation of the company, whether statutory clearance have been granted, have been obtained by the regulatory body or not, record of services by the company to shareholders and investors in the past few years. After getting informed for all the needed documents, then he can have a belief for the fund to be invested into. So be aware of that investment procedures, then a person can invest into the fund. As per SEBI, the investor education guide, what are the rights he or she can get, so that is mentioned over here. Then the responsibilities of members as per SEBI's investor education guide, they are being advised to get informed, to be vigilant, to participate and vote in general meeting, to exercise right as an individual and also as a group. That I was telling, that he or she can be an individual or a group or a company, anybody. The Investor Education and Protection Fund, there is a according to section 125 in Companies Act 2013, a central government for promotion of investors awareness and protection of the interests of the investors, this fund has been formed. The IEPF rules considers the activities related to investors education, awareness and protection for which the financial sanction can be provided under IEPF rules. The following are the activities which it stipulates: education program through media, organizing seminars, proposal for registration of voluntary association or institution who are engaged in investor education and protection activities, the projects of investor education and protection including research activities and proposals for financing such projects, coordinating with institutions engaged in investor education, awareness and protection activities. There then comes a ombudsman rule. So in a literal sense, it is an independent person appointed to hear and act upon citizens' complaints about government securities. So it is being headed by SEBI Ombudsman Regulations 2003. Following are the important power and function of ombudsman. They are being jotted down here: to receive complaints against any intermediary or listed company, to consider such complaints and facilitate resolution thereof by amicable settlement, to approve amicable settlement of the dispute between the parties, to adjudicate such complaints in the event of failure of amicable settlement. Then there is a financial literacy cum counseling center. So RBI has set up financial literacy cum counseling center for investor education in few districts on pilot basis to help individual find realistic solutions to their problem and solution for repayment that are achievable. So this is a center which provide the financial education and the credit counseling facilities for the financial market products, their reward, risk associated with it, etc. There is separate division for credit counseling division also, which includes educating the debtor about credit, budgeting, financial management, and imparting negotiating skill with creditors to work out a repayment plan. Then there is a SEBI's complaint redressal system, which is being termed as SCORES. It has been launched in the web-based complaint redressal system in the year June 2011. The purpose of SCORES is to provide a platform for aggrieved investors whose grievances pertaining to securities market remain unresolved by the concerned listed company or registered intermediary after a direct approach. The salient features of SCORES are centralized database of investor complaints, online movement of complaint to the concerned listed company or SEBI registered intermediary, online upload of action taken report ATRs by the concerned listed company or SEBI registered intermediary, online viewing by investors of action taken on the complaint and its current status. So everything is done web based, that is computerized digital platform where everything is recorded and is being taken care of by the SCORES department. There then comes insider trading. What is insider trading? Insider trading means a possession and misuses of unpublished price sensitive information relating to the security of the listed company by a privileged few for their personal gain before the information is published and comes to the notice of investor. So in literal sense, these are the persons who manipulate the data and they seek the information, take the information from the company before they are being announced by the fund managers or the fund houses for getting the securities in the open market. Before public issue, there is a rule that are being discussed in latter chapters. So these are the publication should be there. The newspaper publication or digital publication should be there of companies in what are the investing fund they are investing into, what are the price of EPS, earning per share of the company, what are the profit ratios of the past audited 3-year statements, what are the fund they are investing into, what are the return they are giving to the investors. So every minute detail of the company which need to be shared with the public is being published to the investors in that documents, and before letting that the insider trading is are carried on by the members or the persons in the market who seek the information from the company before the proper formal publication of the company, announcement of the company's shares and the funds. The nutshell is that insider trading is the buying, selling or dealing in securities of a listed company by a director, member of management, employee of the company or any other person such as internal auditor, advisor, consultant, analyst, etc., who has knowledge of material inside information which is not available to general public, the information which are not to be disclosed to the general public, that are being taken by the members and then they are being disclosed in the market. So it needs it is against the law and the securities market, interest of securities market, So insider trading needs to be prohibited. It is not a rational um, process to be carried on for the securities market. So it is being discussed in below paragraphs. What are the prohibition? Why it is being prohibited? So everything has been decided and declared in these regulations and this framework, which are being taken care of. Then the important definition is who is an insider. Insider means any person who has connection with the company or deemed to have been connected with the company, and who is reasonably expected to have access to unpublished price sensitive information in respect to securities of a company, or has received or has had access to such unpublished price sensitive information. Then what is the price sensitive information? Price sensitive information means any information which relates directly or indirectly to a company and which is published is likely to materially affect the prices of securities of the company. So these are the information which are being laid down by the person, by the insiders, to manipulate the price of the securities of the company. Then there is the following shall also be deemed to be the price sensitive information. So what are the documents that they are being given over here? Then the unpublished price sensitive information, what it is for, it is not, they are the information which are being not published by the company, or this should not be published rather by any of the company, because these are the inside information. So the person who are doing this, they are being called insiders, and the information which are being leaked out, they are being known as unpublished price sensitive information. For the trading they are doing so that terminology is being taken as insider trading. Then comes the close period. What is the close period? It is a period after which the trading or dealing the securities of company cannot be done. That is a time period after which an investor cannot invest into the fund. So dealing in securities of a listed company is prohibited at time of what are the period where companies shares, listed shares cannot be traded in the market. So these are the points, these are the fields, these are the type where the trading cannot be done. Then dealing in securities, what the terminology dealing in securities mean? Dealing in securities mean an act of subscribing, that is purchasing of the shares, buying, selling, or agreeing to sell or deal in the security of the company by any person, either as principal or agent. The process is known as dealing in securities, the term which means that the acquiring of the securities or disposal of securities in the securities market. What are the important provisions? So I'm not elaborating it, because it is clearly according to the regulation and everything is written over here in clear simple words. The prohibition on dealing, communicating, or counseling on matters relating to insider trading. These are the provisions, important provisions of securities market. Preservation of price sensitive information. One should preserve these rights of the information which are being led to them. They are the person of the company, director, officer, designated employees, auditor, or any of person who has access to this price sensitive information. Disclosure of information to institutional investor and analyst. So what are the disclosures need to be disclosed by an institutional investor and analyst? So these are the things. The holding period. Holding period is every listed company shall prescribe a minimum holding period which shall be less than 30 days with respect to the securities of the company, in order to ascertain that the holding is for investment purposes only. So then comes the code of corporate disclosure practices for prevention of insider trading. So what are the corporate disclosures which need to be mentioned for the prevention of insider trading that are being discussed over here according to SEBI's Prohibition and of Insider Trading Regulation 1992. According to this act, what are the adequate disclosures for the price sensitive information that are being disclosed here? Then the duties and obligation for the company. What are the obligation a company has in case of insider trading prohibition? So according to SEBI's Prohibition of Insider Trading Regulation Act 1992, these have been jotted down over here. Then the inspection investigating by SEBI in case of any mislead of information or any malpractices being carried out in the securities market by the company or the investor or any of the insiders. So there the SEBI has the authority to investigate and inspect into the book of accounts or other record and documents of an insider if it can do so by appointing an investing authority. Then the penalties, what are being imposed or what are the punishments given in violation of SEBI's Prohibition of Insider Trading Regulation Act that are being given here. They impose penalty not exceeding 25 crore or 3 times the amount of profit out of insider trading, whichever is higher. Then the criminal prosecution, they can go for criminal prosecution, declaring transactions and security based on unpublished price sensitive information as null or void. Then the issue prohibiting an insider or refraining an insider from dealing in the securities of the company for further transactions. So here I have discussed all the topics which cover this whole unit of insider trading. Thank you.